Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Well, it depends on what time you are watching this. I want to welcome all of you to Clear with Change, brought to you by us, the PAGMAYA Productions. I am your host, Keith Panginiban, with my co-host,
Hey everyone, I am Ayla Bacchus, your co-host.
ready to serve you the hottest talks at the moment. But to make this podcast a little bit more exciting, we're not the only one talking today. Because we invited some people who will also share their thoughts, experiences, and insights during this podcast. And we're here to talk about SDG, burning problems. With our speakers, would you like to introduce yourselves? But before we introduce these guest speakers to you guys, let me first give you a bit of information about us, the PAGMAYA Productions. From our name alone, it already gives our goal, which is to give a sense of happiness and unitedness for our community as a whole. Through clearing social conflicts and sparking discussions and actions about current conditions in our society.
So today's episode is titled Clear with Change. From the title alone, we want to show you what our team sought to achieve and succeed in. Because in this podcast, we will tackle recent conditions involving the sudden rise of our climate and the factors that are relevant to this. In here, we will also talk about steps and initiatives that we can advocate for clear practices to achieve change in all parts of our world. And we're sure that all of you can relate to this, especially now that all of us live here in Davao, where we feel extreme heat wave days day by day as we go to school, work, or shop.
At this moment, we'll now reveal the people who will talk with us today. Are you all ready? So let me introduce our guest speakers for today. First, we have with us today JC Valeriano.
Maris Day, everyone. My name is Simon Carlos V. Valeriano, one of your speakers for today's podcast.
We also have James Odo joining us today.
Good day also to everyone. My name is James Florian Otto, one of your speakers for today's podcast.
And last but certainly not the least, please welcome Leon Publico.
Magis Day also to everyone. My name is Leon James Publico, one of your speakers for today's podcast. I hope you find our presence lifting and exciting, guys, because what are we going to talk about today sure is.
Good day also to you guys. And thank you for joining us today. And now back to our topic. So for all of you watching, especially those who are living here in Davao, have you guys felt in your everyday lives that heat every morning until afternoon? Because I sure do. As we know that this is due to climate change. But instead of talking about that, we're going to discuss the things that causes that. Because we're digging into a topic that is a continuous issue today. That is the burning of trash.
That's right, Keith. And I'm thankful that we were joined by these people today who are also focused on correcting this complication. And I'm sure you guys have a lot to say about this. Take the stage.
Thank you, Ayla. For me, this is a really crucial topic that we have to share with other people because some might be accomplice to this but continuously fail to notice. Imagine this scenario. You threw your trash into the bin and it disappears from sight, thinking that it will be all okay since it isn't that big of a thing. But the question is, where does it really go?
Well, based on what I see, in some households, most of it ends up getting burned.
And that's what we're here to talk about. Burning trash is a common method of waste disposal, not only in big corporations, but also in our community, even in our neighbors. But did you know that it is one of the causes of the rising temperatures in our atmosphere?
That's right. We might think that it is just a small thing, but little did we know that each time we burn our trash, we are adding fuel to the fire of climate change.
But for all the viewers, you should try worry no longer. Because today, we're not just here to raise concerns and point out things about this topic. We're also here to tackle the problem head on and find solutions.
Spot on, James. Throughout this podcast, we'll explore the ins and outs of burning trash, why it happens, how it affects our planet, and how this would affect us and how we can address it.
Let me also add to that, Keith, that by the end of this podcast, you'll not only understand the problem better, but you'll also form and construct practical tips and ideas for reducing your own carbon footprint.
So get ready to join the conversation because together we can turn up the heat on climate action and make a real difference for our planet. Let's dive in.
Now, without further ado, let's hear from our first speaker who will share their observations about burning trash and its impact on the environment. JC, take it away.
Thank you once again, Ayla. As a student who travels most of the time to go to school, I can share with you all of the things I found and experienced that answered why open burning is normalized for families when cleaning or disposing of their waste outside their homes. Well, I am sure that all of us have encountered homes with smoke from burning and people burning trash or leaves outside their home, right?
I've also experienced this kind of situation when I was passing by the sidewalks. I saw an older woman burning leaves to dispose of the trash quickly. I really wanted to ask her why she was doing it, but I was rushing that time and I lost my chance. Lost my chance.
That's so sad to hear. But going back, well, a huge thing that plays a huge role to this is the lack of authority within our community. It might seem sad to hear, but it is true. Despite the law being implemented, people still do open burning and are doing it unnoticed. The law implementation is weak from what I saw in a news article before, resulting in some communities continuing their open burning practices. This is really sad, to be honest, since this shows that there are still people who are unaware or just do not care about.
Yeah, I really understand your point too, JC. I also feel uneasy knowing this experience of yours and your insights about this. Because as a concerned civilian as well, I am worried that our fellows are doing this without knowing that they are the ones who are affected as well.
Well, that is because people choose convenience over sustainability. They tend to resort to things that they think are way more easier for them, which causes many issues in the process, most especially the warming of our atmosphere.
Wow, these are a lot of issues to take in.
I agree. But sadly, we need to accept that all of this happened due to human activities and negligence. And these are very hard to ignore. We, not only a citizen in this country, but also living beings who occupy the earth, should do something for better for all. Clear with change.
Change. And for you, JC, what do you think are some practices or ways that we can avoid contributing to this problem? Maybe give us some tips?
Surely, as we know, the problem revolving these acts is the fact that it produces toxic gases that can entrap heat within our temperature, which in turn causes climate change. And to avoid that is to resort to much eco-friendly waste in disposing our trash, like proper segregation where we can identify if it is recyclable or not, so that instead of it getting burned, it can be used for other helpful uses.
Wow, it really shows how dedicated you are to what you advocate for, JC. You really have us alternative tips that can surely do amazing changes. To other speakers, what can you say after that?
I can also say the same because I agree with the idea of practicing eco-friendly ways to dispose our trash because it does not only help reduce our carbon emissions but also helps us practice proper habit and discipline.
Really? Thank you for that really insightful message and discussion, JC. I can really say that you are really serious in supporting the goal of strengthening habitual practices and obtaining change in the environment.
What about you, James? What can you share with us regarding this issue about how open burning contributes to the intense warming of our atmosphere?
Thank you, Ayla, and hi again, everyone. Today, I will dive into why this method is so detrimental to our environment and how it plays a big role in the disturbance of our climate. Because even though we just know that it has an effect, we still need to be aware and about how and in what way it affects.
Yeah. Burning trash might seem like a quick fix, but it's actually a major contributor to air pollution and climate change.
Exactly. From what I know and researched about, when trash is burned, it releases a cocktail of harmful pollutants like carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxides, sulfur dioxide, and particulate matter into the air.
And let's not forget about dioxins. These toxic chemicals are produced when chlorine containing materials like plastics and pesticides are burned. The deal with these burnings is not only related to the rising of the climate, but also the disturbances of our health and ecosystems.
Wow, I had no idea burning trash could be so harmful. But for those that don't have an idea and knowledge about this, in what way do these burnings contribute to climate change?
Can I add on this topic, guys?
Sure, sure, go ahead, Leon.
Thank you, Keith. Based on my research, the gases that are released from these burnings are particles that flows through the atmosphere and entraps heat within the globe. Because as we know, our Earth receives sunlight from the sun, and from those, we also receive its heat waves. But these heat waves are not supposed to stay in our atmosphere for a very long time. And with these toxins lying on our atmosphere, it traps those heat waves from escaping, causing our climate to get warmer and warmer over time.
To add on to that, for starters, the release of greenhouse gases like CO2 from burning trash does not only contribute significantly to global warming and climate change, because this also leads to a whole host of problems like rising sea level, extreme weather events, and loss of biodiversity.
And on a more personal level, people living near waste incinerators or areas with high levels of air pollution from burning trash can experience health issues like asthma, bronchitis, and even lung cancer.
Plus, the dioxins produced can bioaccumulate in the food chain, posing risks to human health when consumed. It's a serious problem that affects all of us.
Absolutely. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are innovative solutions and success stories from around the world that show we can tackle this issue.
That's great to hear. And from what I got excited, if you mind, can you share some of these solutions?
Well, first, we can promote recycling and composting to reduce the amount of waste we produce in the first place, so that instead of burning it, we can make use of it for other reasons that are not harmful but are helpful. And for the waste that we do not generate, there are technologies like anaerobic digestion and gasification that can convert organic waste into renewable energy without burning it.
OMG, that is actually a great idea, James. If ever we don't know how to make use of our trash and are also troubled to dispose it improperly, we can actually make use of our time by going on our way to deliver it in organizations that has the technologies to perform these ways of disposal. But that is not all. Education and awareness are also a key. By having access to gadgets like our phones or computers, we can inform people about the harmful effects of burning trash and how it contributes to the sudden changes around us. Also, we can make them aware of the importance of proper waste management in preserving a healthy atmosphere and right discipline. We can empower them to make more sustainable choices.
Absolutely. It's going to take a collective effort, but together we can make a real difference for our planet and future generations.
Definitely. So let's spread the word and take actions to ensure a cleaner, healthier planet for all. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Thank you for the insightful discussion. I feel inspired and also proud to do my part in reducing waste and advocating for sustainable solutions. By being with you guys in this moment where we share our thoughts and knowledge about this.
Not only you, Keith, as part of our guest speakers, we're also overjoyed and honored to be part of this crucial movement as we share the exact goal, which is to make change and bring alignments and awareness. Because every small action counts. Together, we can create a more sustainable future.
And me also. I'm very thankful as well to be part of this team because I was able to share my insights and also give my ideas on how we can create small changes to be able to create a larger one in the process.
I couldn't agree more with you guys. To you, Keith and Ayla, I really thank you for having us in this video and allowing us to contribute to this movement.
Thank you for joining us today as we explore SDG 13, climate action with a focus on burning trash as a waste disposal. Remember that every small action counts towards creating a more sustainable future for our planet. That wraps it up. Wow, thank you everyone for being able to share your thoughts about this.
You're welcome, Keith. Also, thanks for having us.
Thank you also for having me. I hope everyone listening is able to relate or apply their learning from what we are talking about.
How about you, James? Do you have any final thoughts as we end this podcast?
I just hope everyone listening can support the advocacy along with us.
Thank you again everyone for listening and speaking for the Pagmaya podcast.
Until our next episode, guys. Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Bye.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye bye.